One antidote to cancer is information. In general, our responses to cancer are converging, but very slowly. Presently all cancer authorities are agreed on only one thing. Cancer cannot take hold in a healthy immune system. The World Health Organization, WHO, is promoting prevention as a better option than treatment and particularly targeting smoking as the highest recognizable risk area. The Cancer Research Institute, CRI, is seeking vaccines that support the body's own ability to heal. Alternative and holistic approaches seek to do the same with diet, nutrition, lifestyle and other choices. Different philosophies of medicine achieve immune support in various ways not considered by orthodox Western medicine, which concentrates mainly on drugs and surgery as an afterthought to disease, often just adding more toxins and stress to an overloaded system. Alternative treatments take many forms to support the body in its own healing process. Although we have constant new biological treatments promised, they usually only apply to a small percentage of cancer types. Change in this field is agonizingly slow and in some cases utterly stuck. Medical science is failing to adapt to the new quantum theory sciences that see the human body from an energy or vibrational perspective. Western allopathic medicine continues to refuse integration with other, older medical philosophies such as Chinese, Ayurvedic, Tibetan, homeopathy, herbalism or vibrational treatment. In truth, we don't even have a research methodology that will cope with assessing different treatment forms and levels tuned to an individual patient. So far it is much easier for the orthodox to just deny the effectiveness of alternative ways of healing because they do not make rational scientific sense, than it is to extend their model to include other healing models. The fiscal interest of pharmaceutical companies is also a factor in our lack of access to holistic treatments. The complex cancer situation affects us all directly. 1 in 3 people in the West now gets cancer at some point. Many factors are combining to aggravate acute degenerative disorders such as cancer or heart disease, the 2 top killers in the Western world. These expose the unwary to dangers, and this includes the toxic side effects of allopathic treatments. It is emerging that the 3rd biggest killer may be allopathic medicine itself. The cancer research industry. Research shows that in UK every year somewhere between £450 to £500 million is spent on cancer research by the pharmaceutical industries, charitable organizations and government. In the US an estimated $14 billion, £7.72 billion, are spent. A hard-hitting report published in March 2004 by Fortune, an American business magazine and written by Cliff Leaf, himself a cancer survivor, suggests that for several reasons much of this funding and research is misdirected. He claims that despite a total of $200 billion spent on cancer research since 1971, that mortality rates are basically unchanged. The report was all but ignored by mainstream media. What if he's right? What if much of this money is wasted? What if the research is misdirected? What if much of the work serves no real purpose beyond the generation of profit? That would mean that the cancer research industry is one of the biggest bandwagons ever. Despite many more billions spent worldwide on cancer research, there seems very little to show for it. After seeing friends and family cut down in their prime by cancer, and its allopathic treatments, this researcher believes that there is something seriously wrong with accepted wisdom on cancer treatment. The author's local health authority has a £12 million overspend this year. The major expenditure? The cost of cancer drugs. Several situations are combining to make cancer a big risk for us all at this time, despite the hard work of many dedicated health service professionals. Cancer and orthodox medical science. Although medical science has created miracles in dealing with infectious diseases, solving many of the medical problems of the 1940s and 50s, the new weapons against acute degenerative disorders are not yet ready. Genetic testing and counseling, gene therapy, nutrigenomics, advanced, subtle and tuned, radiotherapies, cell therapies, therapeutic cloning, Cancer vaccines and even anti-aging therapies are a seemingly constant 10 to 15 years away. This is the 21st century and we are still getting 20th century treatments. This leaves us at the moment in a time of high cancer risk with treatments that are often the medical equivalent of cracking a nut with a sledgehammer. The orthodox treatment of cancer is too often as dangerous as the disease itself. Alternative treatments for cancer are not given a fair hearing. Information is still actively repressed or marginalized from many sources. The subject of cancer and alternative treatment must be the original can of worms. It's never a good time to get cancer, but there are more options than you might think or even be advised from orthodox treatment centers. For example, there are many things one can do to supplement and ease orthodox treatments with complementary ones. It is unlikely you will be given information on this unless you seek it out yourself. Although much research on alternatives is often suppressed, there are people who can guide you through the minefield of misinformation, disinformation, ignorance, applied self-interest, politics and other complexities in the field of cancer, whatever choices you make. Support is a central issue in any disease and there are increasing options here with many groups online helping each other with a variety of treatment forms. An integrated approach to cancer. The cancer discussion needs opening towards a more integrated medicine that is centered on the patient, but even this discussion is presently marginalized. People are finding each other online and comparing notes. Even the drug manufacturing industries are predicting that patient advocacy forms a strong part of future medicine. But for true patient advocacy to happen, medical consumers presently need to be at least as, if not better informed than their medical doctors. There are many options in cancer treatment that are not generally discussed through orthodox medicine. For example, group therapy is not widely prescribed or accessible for cancer patients despite the fact that studies show it can actually double survival time. There is mounting evidence of the validity of herbal and nutritional regimes that support the immune system and may complement the sledgehammers of traditional, orthodox treatment, chemo and radiotherapy. Sometimes complementary therapies are allowed with orthodox treatment but are still limited to only accepted medical philosophies, or that which can be measured through double-blind testing methodologies that basically view every person as the same. The different philosophies of medicalism and holism, which puts people central to their treatment, are still far apart. This is not a situation that is in any way advantageous for those of us who become patients. Alternative approaches are viewed at best as unproven and are unresearchable using quantitative research methodologies. There are many people wanting a more integrated approach to healthcare than the drugs and surgery promoted by orthodox allopathic medicine. This is shown by the huge number of people who seek complementary and alternative medicines without the knowledge of their doctors. The main research into treatments that address every aspect of disease and patient still takes place in secret because practices that fall outside of standard medical practice and physicians who offer unconventional cancer treatments may be vulnerable to the civil charge of malpractice. Given the modern quantum sciences and other feasible medical models such as those mentioned, there are many more realistic options for treatment than we are presently being offered. It is easy to be overwhelmed in this field, different people giving different information, which you may need to find, understand and act upon, often against the clock. What is needed is an overview that presents comprehensive information from wide sources in an objective manner. Even since the Great War against cancer began in the 70s, there's one good thing that we have found out: most cancers are preventable. We've not helpless victims of a capricious fate that strikes us down at whim. We can fight back, starting right now. Most of the cancers doctors see could have been prevented. That's the message that mainline cancer organizations like the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute are increasingly ending out. Prevention is the cure for most cancers. If we eat wisely, don't smoke, cut down our exposure to hazardous chemicals, and change our lifestyle, we can almost eliminate cancer. Cancer can only occur if our immune system fails to hold cancerous cell at bay. If it is strong enough, If we do our best to boost it and to avoid abusing it, we can gain a winning edge over cancer. Here are specific steps in that direction. 1. Eat to beat cancer. Eat to avoid cancer? That may sound simplistic, but the scientific evidence seems to strongly indicate that your choice of diet may help you reduce your cancer risk. Below, a rundown on the anti-cancer power of certain foods. Fiber. Fiber may protect against cancer of the bowel and the rectum. This is not a new theory, and there is plenty of evidence that colon cancer is less common in populations that eat a diet high in fiber. There are two kinds of fiber. Insoluble fiber, that kind found in whole grains, pulses, fruits and vegetables, it is said, probably reduces the time that potential carcinogens, cancer-causing agents, were in contact with the bowel by helping to move the intestine's contents more quickly through the bowel. Soluble fiber, found in oats, barley, in fruits like apples, and in gelatin, is thought to bind with carcinogens, and thus render them inoperable. Beta-carotene. When you were young, you might often have been told to eat up your carrots because it was good for your eyes. You were probably never told that it might also reduce your risks of cancer. Now, the evidence is piling on that the beta-carotene in carrots, and in certain other plant sources, offers protection against specific types of cancers, especially those involving the linings of the lungs, throat, stomach, colon and cervix. Nutritionists refer to beta-carotene as the precursor of vitamin A, meaning that it converts into this vitamin in the body. Apart from carrots, it's also found in green leafy vegetables like spinach and coriander and in fruits like mangoes and papayas. While a cause and effect relationship is yet to be established, the findings in study after study are highly suggestive. In subjects with a high cancer risk, beta-carotene supplements were found to lower the incidence of precancerous lesions, and even to reverse them. Also, according to the latest research, there is no evidence of any toxic effects resulting from an excess of beta-carotene, either in the diet or from supplements, although vitamin A, in excessive amounts, is toxic. Food scientists say that we should get at least 1.5 milligrams of beta-carotene a day. That's about half a cup of fresh, chopped spinach, for example. Cooking means a 50% loss of the nutrient, however, absorption is higher from a cooked source, so the effects may balance out. Vitamin B. In some persons, a deficiency of vitamin B can also cause tissue changes in areas like the mouth and lip, leading to ulcers which may ultimately become cancerous. Don't neglect an ulcer in the mouth. Your doctor can prescribe a vitamin supplement. Vitamin C. Vitamin C has been shown to prevent the nitrates, used as food preservatives, from converting into dangerous nitrosamines, implicated in stomach cancer. Preliminary studies have also shown that vitamin C may combat genetically induced colon polyps. People with such polyps are at greater risk for developing colon cancer. Rich sources of vitamin C are guavas, berries like amla, Indian gooseberry, strawberry and tomato, and citrus fruits like oranges, sweet limes and lemons. Vitamin E. This nutrient, apparently gaining in recognition with every passing year, has been shown in population studies to be linked with a reduced overall risk of cancer, particularly lung cancer and breast cancer. In animal studies too, it lowered the risks of breast cancer. Scientists believe it works as an antioxidant, battling the free radical that wreaks damage on the immune system. It may also be a helper nutrient, say some researchers, working with vitamin C, for example, to protect against colon cancer. Natural sources of vitamin E are sunflower seeds or oil, sesame seeds or oil, almonds or almond oil, and corn oil. 2. Dietary don'ts. But, apart from dietary do's, there are some dietary don'ts. Keep down the fats. Studies suggest that high-fat diets are linked with certain forms of cancers, especially cancer of the breast and colon. In fact, a comprehensive study of the relation between cancer and diet by the National Academy of Sciences says that, Of all the dietary components the Academy studied, the evidence is most suggestive for a causal relationship between fat intake and cancer. Cut down on processed foods. Refined foods tend to contain preservatives and additives, including artificial colors and flavors, many of which are carcinogenic. Saccharin, for instance, is associated with cancer of the bladder. Processed foods are also low in fiber, making them a risk factor for cancer of the large bowel. Limit intake of smoke, salt-cured foods, ham, fish and some varieties of sausage smoked by traditional method absorb cancer-causing tar similar to those contained in tobacco smoke. Also a certain amount of evidence links salt-cured or pickled foods to increased risk of cancers of the stomach and esophagus. 3. Keep down your weight. Although dietary fat is the major culprit that causes overweight, too many calories from any food source, whether fats or carbohydrates or protein, converts into too much body fat, leading to overweight. And obesity is associated with breast cancer and cancers of the reproductive tract. The more overweight you are, the greater your risk. The bottom line, where dietary guidelines to cancer are concerned, is that you should eat a variety of foods in moderation, including fruits, vegetables and whole grains, watch your weight, and decrease your fat intake. Preferably, avoid supplements as a convenient option. Natural foods, with their complement of vitamins and minerals, are incomparably better. 4. Quit smoking, chewing tobacco, inhaling cigarette smoke. Tobacco intake, whether through cigarette smoking or chewing, has been shown to have a definite link with several cancers, including those of the lung, mouth, throat and pancreas. Contrary to popular presumption, bidi smoking is twice as dangerous as cigarette smoking, warns the Indian Cancer Society. The habit of putting the lighted end of the cigarette in the mouth leads to oral cancer. So does chewing betel leaves. Side stream or passive smoke has been shown to increase the lung cancer risk in non-smoking persons married to smokers. So, discourage smoking at home. Until family members quit, be sure the house is well ventilated. At your workplace, get together with colleagues to request that management consider setting aside designated smoking and non-smoking areas. 5. Keep a check on pollution. While cigarette smoke is responsible for 9 out of 10 cases of lung cancer, pollution is another risk factor. The pollution-cancer link is still not well understood, although scientists today know beyond doubt that polluted air contains carcinogens. Among them, ozone, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. In one study, when investigators exposed human breast cells to benzo(a)-pyrene, one of the most common automobile pollutants, they found that it resulted in the formation of free radicals, charged molecule fragments that can seriously injure cell walls and DNA. Other common pollutants are known to create free radicals. If you are living in a polluted city, it's not at all easy beating the risks, except by avoiding exposure to pollutants when possible and getting away to the great open space on weekends and vacations. However, unknown protection against air pollution is to avoid breathing it while exercising rigorously, so, don't jog in areas of heavy traffic or at times of the day when urban among is at its densest. These times vary with the seasons and from city to city. 6. Avoid unnecessary X-rays. Indiscriminate and excessive exposure to radiation is known to cause certain cancers including leukemia, cancer of the blood. But X-rays are not the only source of such radiations. Those working in nuclear plants are known to be at risk. Hundreds of survivors of Hiroshima, as well as the Chernobyl disaster in more recent times, later developed cancer in children, mainly leukemia, and in adults, cancer of the throat/thyroid/lungs. Other sources of radiation are television, video display terminals, plutonium-powered pacemakers, tinted glass in eyeglasses, porcelain denture, even bricks and masonry. You can't do much about most radiations, but you can, and must, limit what you get from medical X-ray and consumer products. 7. Treat precancerous lesions. A precancerous lesion is any abnormal condition that, if allowed to continue, will develop into cancer with time. They include white spots on the mucous membranes of the mouth, sores caused by jagged and ill-fitting dentures, bluish black moles that develop sigh of irritation, itchy scaly patches of dry skin, especially on the face, untreated birth injuries to the womb. Any of these conditions should be shown to a physician promptly treated. Avoid prolonged irritation of any part of the body, including overexposure to the sun, wind. We humans have got to life a billion years ago. There have been 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history. We are living through the 6th. And now we too are running at a pace to end it all. This time it will be our fault. The new discoveries and inventions have made our lifestyle full of convenience. But our bodies require work. Just like the sedentary water starts smelling, the sedentary lifestyle has given rise to many chronic diseases like the heart problems, diabetes and hypertension. Today, the health researchers are suggesting that most of the chronic diseases that have appeared in man's life are due to stress. From where it has come? It is the byproduct of our so-called modern lifestyle. We are standing at the edge of cliff. Immediate actions are required to bring back the healthy days. We must incorporate exercise, balanced diet, sound sleep, and the most importantly happy and positive thoughts to our lifestyle to get rid of all health problems.